thousands of kids are coming out to hear the gospel.
Incredible.
So he will be with us.
And I want to go back to those values and those virtues that you mentioned. And I think of this in so many ways. So it will be families who agree and who are aligned with that, and they want their children to get more of that.
Right.
But then there are families who may not know anything about this, or even teenagers who've never been given this chance, who've never been taught those values,
Sure.
where maybe they'll learn something along the way. So I feel like it could really help both kinds of families, right?
Absolutely. And family can be defined a whole lot of
Sure it
ways.
can.
And but we really believe that we're going into every part of this city. We're going into every social economic status. There's nobody left out because we're all family, right? And so you're right. When the gospel's preached and when people are loved and they're shown the way, the response is incredible. What you're going to see at this event is thousands of young people that have found their way. What you're going to see is people that were lost, and when I say lost, I'm talking lost in without what they needed to succeed in society, without what they needed to have wholeness in their lives. So we're going to preach the gospel. We're also going to give testimonies of people that have, were once in maybe some, in sex trafficking. One of the reasons why we picked Houston, it's number one in sex trafficking in the U.S.
It's just such a ridiculous stat for our beautiful city to have. It is so heartbreaking. But you see that, and you're trying to do something about it. So what is your effort here? Are you just doing raising awareness, or what's the thought behind that?
Well, it's going to be kind of twofold. We're going to raise awareness, but we're also going to let young people stand up that were once in it and talk about the companies or the people that help them, the different situations that they got in to get freedom and to get back on track. Because the truth is, you can raise awareness, and that's great, but you've got to give them tracks to run on for real healing.
Of course.
So there are ministries and companies that will be provided so that if there's a young person out there that's actually being trafficked or wants to get out, we'll have a track for them to run on. One of the things that we think is really important is not only preaching the gospel or giving people hope, but also giving them help. Taking their hand and walking them down a track or a solution. So if there's someone there that's been sex trafficked, we're going to help them. We're going to help them get the physical healing, the emotional healing, and then the practical healing. If there's someone there that's homeless, we're going to have help for that. If there's someone there that's bound in addiction, fentanyl and addiction is running rampant among our young people. We're losing thousands of young people across America to fentanyl and to addiction. So we're going to have a track to run on for that. So it's going to be a day of hope.
And when you say that you were all over the city and you were trying to get everybody involved in that, what kind of effort is that? I know Fox 26 is incredibly proud to be your media sponsor and to help you get out that word. But how else are you doing that besides being here at places like this to talk to me and to make sure we help spread that word?
We're doing a lot of grassroots, a lot of posters on poles and billboards. A lot of churches are helping. A lot of business people are helping. We're using Facebook and Instagram. Everything we can do. And we found that, people care about this issue. Yeah. This is an issue that people care about. We can't all, as Christians, we can't always agree on everything, We just can't. There's a lot of different stances. But what we can agree on is we want healthy families. What we can agree on is we want to see young people come out of dark places into light. And so we don't care where you come from. We don't care what you've experienced. I came from two alcoholic parents and was really on the wrong side of town, but a woman came in and found me and my sister, dressed us every Sunday for Sunday school, and began to pray for my parents, and God turned our whole family around, turned our whole legacy around. Our children serve God. My sister's boy does worship all over the world. We've seen what the power of one caring woman will do in my life. So can you imagine what would happen when 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 caring parents and grandparents come and say, we're for you, we're for our college kids, we're for our high school kids, we're for our junior high school kids, and we'll do whatever it takes to help you be the best version of you that God created you to be.
Well, and your enthusiasm is so beautiful, and I feel like that's so empowering. And I'm sure that everyone that you work with in this amazing project is in that same boat with that same type of positive vibe.
Girl, this is a bunch of unbelievably loving mama bears.
love that.
And now the average age, I'm like a grandma of the bunch. The average age I would say is probably 30 to 45 or 50. So I'm 64. So I'm kind of one of the grandmas, but it's a group of young women across America that said we want to make a difference. We want to not just say we love Jesus and preach the gospel, but we want to go out and be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Well, I hear you say that, and I'm thinking we're inviting Houstonians and saying you need to get there, you need to get your families there. But I also know that Houston is a very loving, giving community. So for someone who says, wow, I want to be that mama bear.
Yes.
Are you looking for other volunteers or help? Can people still get involved, and how?
Okay, there's a QR code that y'all are going to put up.
Okay.
For Houston May Day, it's May 18th at Discovery Green. So it's a really wonderful location, and when the QR code comes up, just click it, go to Houston, and there's an opportunity to volunteer. There's an opportunity if you want to cut hair, you can cut hair.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There's an opportunity to sponsor with some finances. These aren't cheap. Yeah. We're doing this. State of the art. We're bringing in LED screens. We're not sparing any expense. So maybe if you're a business person or a ministry and you say, look, I want to get involved in that, we would love for you to get involved. We're also the pastors that work with us as people are getting saved and really finding Jesus and getting baptized. We're going to send all those churches those names so that they can reach out to these young people and give them a home.
Make sure it doesn't end there, that they continue that.
Yeah, we're coming in. Of course, I'm from Houston. This is home. Okay, I'm a 7th generation Texan, so this is my home. But the group is coming into Houston, and we don't want to just blow in, do something good and blow out and not really follow up on these young people. So we have all types of mechanisms in place where pastors can get involved and really, really minister to these young people after we're gone.
That is brilliant. I love the follow-up because it has to be more than a day. It has to become a lifetime for them to truly get what it means and to have those people walk by their side to do that. Let's talk about what that looks like, because when we say, you're going to be helped by these people, at the same time when we're talking about these people who might come forward and volunteer, don't you see so many times that they're the ones who it somehow ends up getting help, that it means so much to their heart?
I can't even tell you what it does to me, just speaking from my own personal experience. I'm a pastor at a church. We pastor in Baytown. And we have young people that have gotten, come into our church, first generation Christians, didn't come from a Christian family. So they not only need someone to tell them about Jesus, but they need someone to help them with life,
Sure,
Melissa.
they do.
They need someone to give them advice. We've got a young couple. In fact, you'll hear him perform. He's a rapper, Christian rapper, unbelievable young man. His name is Wave. And when they came into our church, I got to be more than a pastor to them. I got to be a mama to them. And man, I'll get choked up talking about it because I think about my 5 children. I wasn't a perfect mom, but I was a loving mom, single mom. I worked my tail off to provide for them, but there's so many young people out there that are on their own. And so this gives us an opportunity to reach them and then bring them in close and then mentor them, help them with their education, help them know how to balance a checkbook or show up. A lot of times we bring these young people to our family Christmases and love them and show them what family looks like, because you're right. A lot of people are born in a lot of situations where what they see as family is not healthy. So we try to give them a healthy and advantage point.
How many times do we see a story of crime? And I don't know about you, but me as a God-fearing mama bear, I always think if they had just only had more love in their life, that might not have happened. If somebody had hugged them and told them their worth, if they knew Jesus and that they knew that they could be forgiven of everything that's happened in their lives and they can start anew and truly believe that, what a different world we would live in. This message is clear and huge.
You're right. It's an identity crisis. It's an identity crisis because when you know Jesus, when you when you get to know Jesus, when you give your life to Jesus, the